Welcome back to Orange Hat Reviews, and I'm going to be giving my review on the Netflix original Altered Carbon. This series was good. It's only one season so far. I think they have a second season planned out. The actors are familiar to me, I just can't remember their names. The main character is called Takeshi Kovacs. This whole story and the concept is very interesting. It's basically people can live it however long they want if they have the money to do so. Now, there's a thing called a stack where your mind and memories are digitally kept in this thing. It's called a stack. Now, I'm curious as why they called it altered carbon, because the term altered carbon is only mentioned once in this show. And it's mentioned by an off character. But yeah, the show is definitely not for kids. This show basically is definitely rated M for mature audiences. It's not for people who don't like gratuitous sex and nudity and all that stuff, because it has it all. Sex, drugs, alcohol, and it's not just the normal kind of nudity. It's everything. They show everything. So yeah, don't let kids watch this show at all. The story. Let's get to the to the review of it. The story is good. The characters are brilliant. At first, I was a little annoyed because certain characters kept on jumping between different languages, like Arabic, Spanish, Russian, German, and the like, and it's like, God dang it, I keep on having to focus on subtitles instead of the show itself, and sometimes that can be a hindrance. So yes, objectively, this show will lose 1 star out of 5 for that. It's not subjective, it's an objective, because it's pulling you away from the story. They show flashbacks, which can be sometimes a little confusing, so it gets a little bit of points off for that too. So 3.8 so far objectively. The acting is very good, with a little bit of over-the-topness here and there, but it's explained outward, so only 1 tiny point. Not a full star, but 0.1 of a star, So you're at 3.7 out of 5. The music is an interesting choice. They got some good music. The characters are pretty decent. The amount of different kind of drugs they have in this is weird, but it's basically super rich people are basically gods. Not gods as in divine powers and superpowers, but because they are so rich and powerful, they can do whatever they want and get away with it. But that comes crashing down at the end. And I love that, because it shows that the ultra rich and powerful can be brought down under the right circumstances. I also remembered liking a certain scene where the main character is getting tortured, but because he had been trained to withstand all types of torture, and he was in virtual reality when they were torturing him and whatnot, it's like, I'm just waiting for him to bubble it up so he can go after the guys. And he does. And he goes after them in the most brutal fashion. This has brutal action. It's a great story. The acting, the setting, the production. I thought it was great and well done. Now, the faults that I have with it, like I said, were the subtitles, a little tiny bit of over-the-topness here and there, and there were some scenes that were kind of really asshole-ish, but understood because the main character is kind of an asshole. But, I like the acting choices that they had. There's a lot of faces I recognize. I can't remember their names to save my life in this case. One of them plays in Suicide Squad as Rick somebody. He was the cop that was babysitting Suicide Squad. He played the main character, Takashi Kovacs. Or Kovach, rather. There was the woman who played his sister. She played in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. as Quake's mom, and in a couple other movies and whatnot. The Latina cop, I remember seeing her once or twice. I can't remember where, though. The head of the police department, Tanaka, he played in Elektra as the guy who had to off himself because he failed in his mission to kill the treasure from Elektra. You got all sorts of people and actors, and they do great. They do a very good job. So yeah, overall, this objective score is 3.7 out of 5. Subjective, I will give it a 4 out of 5, even. Showgoer, because of the subtitles taking you away from it, it suffers a little bit, so I'll give it a 4.5 out of 5. Otherwise, if you're into this kind of stuff, sci-fi, sex, drugs, alcohol, killing, violence, and all that stuff, it's a great show. It is. But if you're not, stay away from it. I say give it a chance. I do recommend it for sci-fi fans who are prepared for this kind of stuff. If you're not, I'm telling you, you'll be shocked. So yeah, that's the video. That's the review for Altered Carbon. And let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. If you've seen this show. If you haven't, it's on Netflix. If you guys like this video, like, comment, subscribe, share, all that jazz. This has been Orange Hat Reviews, and you all have a good night.